Alright, hello everyone, it's Team Rocket Draws here with another Pokemon drawing tutorial. And for this video guys, we're gonna be drawing Galarian Articuno. So as you guys can see on screen, this is how he ends up looking like. So if you guys want to learn how to draw him, then let's get started. I'm also gonna put up a reference right now on screen, that way it's easier for you guys to draw, and at the same time you guys can get all your details. Just keep in mind guys that we are gonna start by doing a sketch, and then from there on you guys are gonna do your final drawing. So yeah, let's get started, and remember to do your line slide. Alright guys, so first of all we're gonna start out by doing this circle and just try to make it as close as you can to a perfect circle, and then we're gonna split it in half both ways, and then we're gonna extend for the neck right here. I'm using a spare piece of paper just to get an idea of how long to do this line right there, that reference line, and it's basically the length of two of those circles. And this just allows me to know where to curve this area right here for the body. And once we have that, we can start by doing one of the legs, I guess like the thigh, and then we do the other one right there. So you guys see me doing a reference line right there just because it helps me, and it'll probably help you guys know exactly where to place the other leg, although it's a little bit at an angle guys, just because the way I was drawing it, but it should be like straight. And one of the things that I end up changing that I do right now guys is the legs. So they're a little bit too thick and a little bit too big, so I do change those later on. Alright, so now that we have the legs right there, around the like a quarter right there, we're gonna start off the wings as well as down here. Connect them around there. I do a reference line going to the top just so I can make sure that they're roughly on the same level at the top. And then I do that reference line right there just to show you guys basically how long to do the bottom line right there for the wing. And then one of the things that I like to do is I like to start one of the areas as you guys see me here, and then I go back at the top and I start on the top and the bottom, like basically the beginning and the end, and then I just connect them both together. And what that does guys is just helps you know where the beginning is, where you want like the lines to start, and where you want them to end. And if you do on both sides and then just connect them in the middle, it'll help you guys. So that's something I recommend you guys doing. Hopefully you guys like know what I'm kind of talking about, what I'm saying. Alright, so here for the actual head, just use those lines that we did for the circle to place everything. Now that we have that, we can start doing the shape for his belly, and it's roughly around there. So like I mentioned before, I do make the legs a little bit smaller later on. Alright, so now for the details for the wings. Now that we have the shape of the wings, it's gonna be easier to do this. And so I do that line at the bottom guys, just so we can know exactly how long to do each wing. And one of the things that I want you to remember is to try to do, or they're not wings right, they're feathers I guess, each feather, try to make all these the same thickness, even on the other wing, just because they're similar, right? They're similar in size, although the left wing's a little bit like behind them and it's a little bit further, so technically it should be a little bit smaller, but let's just do them all the same. So now for right here for the actual wing, so this is where you guys will see me doing, like I do one side and then I start at the other, and then I just connect them together. So it's just something that is like, alright, the first where it starts is here, this is where I want it to start, and this is where I want it to end. So now that I know exactly where I want the start and the end, then we can just connect them and it just works out overall. Alright, so now for the actual tail. So the reason that I didn't finish the rest of the other foot was because I knew that I was going to cover it with the tail. And even though that the reference has it the way it does, doesn't mean that that's the way I should have it. And you guys should have it. Like, you guys could always change the tail any way you guys want. It doesn't have to have the same curve. It doesn't have to go over that leg. Like, you guys can cover both legs if you guys wanted to, as long as you do the tail like covering the legs. If you guys can't do the feet, you know what I mean, the tail doesn't have to be the same way as the reference does. The way that it has is just because it just, like, you know, it kind of like everything just levels out and it's even, but like it's not something that you guys have to do. So once we have all this, we can start erasing some of those reference lines that we used. And once we do that guys, everything, the sketch just starts coming out and we're able to finally see Articuno. So right here what I'm doing is I'm just going over it, and this is the time where I make any change necessary. Like, I'm looking at the reference and I'm looking at my drawing, my sketch. and I'm trying to see like what's something that doesn't look right, what's something that I missed, what's something that I could do better. And one of those things is the leg. So what I like to do is on my drawings, on my sketches, is that I like to erase them completely, guys, and redraw it just so I can have a cleaner drawing. And even though I'm erasing it, I can still see those lines. You guys can probably still see them on the video. And then what I do is once everything is erased, I just go over it and just make any changes on this outline that are necessary. So this is where I add like small details, small curves. I try to curve the actual lines. I try to add a little bit more of a natural look to it, and everything just looks a little bit better. So for example, right here I add like a more of a point, and then for these I try to curve them a little bit more, not make them so stiff and just, you know, just like repetitive. I try to curve them a little bit more. So this is where I actually do the foot, and then I was like, you know what, it's not, I don't know if I like that, even though I did do it a little bit thinner. The actual leg, I did it a little bit thinner, but then I go back and I change it, I think 2 times, just because like I was like, I don't know, it's a little bit too big for Articuno. But now that I'm looking at it like this, I don't think it was necessary to do those changes. But it was just something that was bothering me as I was doing the drawing, so I did end up changing it. And now, yeah, so now for the tail, just adding those lines. And as you guys can see, now that we have a cleaner outline, it just looks way better. So this is the way I like to do it. Doesn't mean that that's the way you should do it, guys. You guys can do it any way you guys want. So this is where I go back and I was like, nah, I don't like that, that's too big. So then I make them a little bit smaller, and then I was like, no, that's too small. So then I do it a little bit bigger than that, so kind of in between the smaller size that I did and the bigger size. And I think it does look a little bit better. Then I realized that this foot actually matches the one on the left. The one on the left's a little bit smaller, so I thought that's why I didn't change the one on the left, just because they look the same. And then I did end up coloring it. I used my watercolor pencils, as you guys see me doing here, and then I just go over it with the brush and water, and it just gives me like a base color. So this is something that I'm doing. This is something that I'm learning to, using watercolors and color pencils. So it's something that I'm practicing, guys. Obviously the reference, the colors are like really bright, really just saturated. They're just there because the person that made this, you guys could actually see the name in the bottom right there of the Articuno on the reference. This is like a fan art. This was made from DeviantArt. That's where I got it from, on Google. And they made it on the computer, so obviously having like doing it on the computer, the colors are gonna be a lot better. It's gonna look a lot more better. It's gonna look a lot more firm. Everything's just gonna be solid. Obviously me using color pencils, it's not gonna be the same, you know. So what I ended up doing was just using something that I like to do personally, is I like adding black to my colors, guys, for some reason, for the shadows. So it did come out a little bit darker than maybe I would like, but it's something, like I said, that I'm learning on doing, and overall I'm pretty happy with it. For the purple, for the chest area, something that I would change is probably add a little bit more black. I think I left it too gray just because I wanted to add a highlight. I wanted to add like a gradient, right? And ultimately this is how it ended up looking like. And something that I would change, like I mentioned before, is probably that I would change the, just because now looking at the reference, it's a little bit darker, like the actual chest area, the eyes. I did add like a small, not highlight, but just a lighter part on top of the eye. One of those things that I probably would change is that. And then I think I didn't do the eye, or I think it was purple, but for some reason on the on my drawing it's like a light color. So that's something that I don't think I did. I think it's just on the video, just the angle, like the lighting on the actual drawing. I think that's how it looks like, because every time that you guys see these drawings that I do on the computer on a video, guys, it looks a lot different because of the angle, right? Because the light hits the pencils, the color pencils, and since it's like graphite and stuff like that, it will shine. It'll give like a little like glare, like a little, like, you know, it makes it a little bit brighter, so it changes the color of it. So in person the drawings look a lot better, like the colors look a lot better, the lines look a lot better than it does on the video. So although it still looks pretty good, you know, I'm pretty happy with it, guys, to be honest. For the bottom of the actual feathers on the wings, I used like a gray. I did use a gray watercolor pencil, like a really light one, and then I just went over it, you know, added like a little shadow with just the regular gray color pencil. So that's what I did for all the rest of the colors as well. Just used like a darker purple and stuff like that, like a cool like dark purple, I guess, because obviously you have your hot purple, which is kind of more, it has more of a red tint, and then you got your cool purple that has more of a blue tint. So I even used blue on the purple on the wings and stuff like that, like on the actual body. On the shadows I used a really light tint, like I went over it really lightly with the blue color pencil, like a really dark one. And then obviously I did the same thing on the tail. Yes, we'll see, like at the end of the tail there's like some blue there, just because I kind of pressed on it too hard. And yeah, it's like the light, you know, it's kind of like a highlight right there in that part, so I kind of made a mistake. But it is what it is. I gotta press too hard. It was a lot stronger than the purple, so that's why it shows a lot. But overall, guys, like I said, I'm pretty happy with it. Overall, I'm happy. The only thing changed that I would do is, like I said, I would probably add a little bit more black on the legs, the chest, and probably on the eyes, right? But overall, like, it looks pretty cool. So it was fun doing Articuno, guys. It was just one of those Pokemons that I wanted to do for you guys. So let me know in the comment section if you guys ended up drawing it and how it came out. And yeah, guys, I guess that's gonna be it for this video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more videos, and I guess I'll just catch you guys on the next one. Team Rocket Draws out.